Hello and welcome to the Independent Lodging Congress video series. Joining me today is Ahmass Fakahany of Altamarea Group. Thank you so much for being here.
Pleasure to be here.
You have an amazing background. First, you were in finance for over 20 years, rising to the level of president and COO of Merrill Lynch. And then you got into hospitality, a very interesting change of events. And now you have a phenomenally successful group, Altamarea Group, together with Chef Michael White, having 16 restaurants in New York, New Jersey, Washington, D.C., London, Istanbul, and Hong Kong. Amazing.
Yeah, it's been very tiring, yes.
You're a busy man. First question is, tell us about your restaurant's clientele. I imagine it's very different, city to city and restaurant to restaurant. But how do you go about identifying who should be in the restaurant? How do you attract them? How do you connect with that audience?
That's a good question. Well, first of all, in our case, we started off with the high-end element of hospitality in terms of our food program. So by starting in the high end, we cultivated a client base that enjoys the kind of food we prepare in a more elevated level. From there, we were able to build sub-brands that are more casual from the high-end perch that we created. And so our clients now move across the portfolio if they want to be in a more relaxed state. So we cultivated it from the high end and then spread it down brand to our sub-point structures like Osteria Morini, Nicoletta, and some of our other brands. And we have a very deep communication process with that client base, but it started off with the upper end for ours.
Smart. And also, having this background that you do in finance, how do you find that background informs your present work? How do you connect these two worlds? Do they connect?
They do. You never leave finance. Finance is where this is a business that still has to be organized and properly managed professionally. But I would say certainly leadership is one of the things that I have brought over in terms of my background, retaining people, developing people, having a culture of excellence so that people work together across the group, which is not that easy in this sector. The real estate piece and getting that right is crucial, so some of that background plays in, certainly financial measurement and metrics and so forth. But I'd also like to say the global mindset. I ran an international company globally in 45 countries, so you certainly bring that global mindset into it and orient our team towards that.
That's exactly the question I wanted to delve into. Tell us about your international operations. What are the challenges or opportunities of working in different countries?
International for us is a wonderful thing. It is actually easier to open a place so far for us in the locations you mentioned, Istanbul, London, and Hong Kong, than in New York City. New York City has a very high incline. It's tough, it's relentless, it's unforgiving, everything you just said. But I think international, fortunately, we have a good team on ground. We have a very similar value structure, and it's been a good experience. The challenge is aligning with the local palate versus our product program, and when in Rome, as they say, making sure that you can contort yourself, not too much, but enough to put it in balance. Making sure you have local product ingredients that still fit what we're trying to project. And certainly training of the personnel in a fashion that can represent our offering in the way we'd be proud. So I would say these are the challenges. But other than that, it's a great experience. We learn a lot. We love it. People get to be part of our culture as well, and it's very symbiotic in terms of how we operate together.
Do you bring people from the U.S., for example, when you're opening, or do you hire from?
Absolutely, both. So people from the U.S. come over from the U.S. and put a top-down view on the place to give people a chance in terms of training that I just talked about. They'll stay there for a period of time. We decide how long, and then it becomes intermittent, as needed. But then what we really want to do is hire locally and develop people as well.
That's key. And what's on the horizon? You have so many projects. What's up next?
Well, we're first going to slow down a little bit because I think we just need to get our systems in place and feel good about everything we've built. We've moved quite quickly, as you said, in the past 5 years. But we'd still like to flex out these brands that I was talking about. There's demand for them in different locations. So as the need arises and it makes sense for us, we'd like to continue to branch out some of these neighborhood brands that you may have touched on, Osteria Morini, Nicoletta's, and so forth. and also see where there is the right opportunities where we can partner with people where it makes sense, and if they fit with our culture and where we want to go together. So I would say there's a little bit of a hunkering down moment for us, but at the same time keeping an eye to what we've built and seeing if we can expand upon that.
Wonderful. Well, thank you for coming to the Independent
pleasure.
Lodging Congress 2015.
Thank you. Pleasure. Thank you.